Welcome back to my adventure with Squirrel's Treasure Box, and it is found in Enchanted Forest by Joanna Basford. It is a coloring book. It's an Inky Quest coloring book. It's beautiful. It's got this, mine has this gold leafing on it and the beautiful fly jacket. That's what the craft cover actually looks like. And as you might remember, the last few segments of this project involved Squirrel's Treasure Box, and in it I added some extra details like this tree, and I painted in a background and a foreground and added even a little stream down here. There's still a few things I might want to do with the trim on the treasure box and stuff, but the way I work on my art projects, my multimedia, even my coloring book things, is I do, it's never really done until I stop. So I could still come back in and add a little bit of maybe fine line marker or some stickles or some glitter gel pen or something to the trim. I could put more highlights on the berries, all kinds of things. But for now, I'm calling this part of the page good. And I'm going to move on to where I add this squirrel that I traced from another section in this coloring book. So this is the squirrel, kind of like the house that Jack built. This is the treasure box that Squirrel built. So I am going to color the squirrel and add him in as a flip fold piece in this story page as part of this story. And I hope that you'll stay with me and see how it comes out. So, I don't know where you're watching from right now, but I live in what we call here in New York, in the United States, the Great Northeast. And in the Great Northeast, we have all kinds of animals. And one of those animals is a squirrel. Unfortunately, squirrels and chipmunks don't do well around my house because I also have 5 cats, and it's one of their favorite objects of prey. But here in my section in the eastern side of New York, near Vermont and New Hampshire, we have gray squirrels and a smaller kind of squirrel called a red squirrel, and we even have some flying squirrels. If you go out to central New York, around Syracuse, you even find some black squirrels. And I know black squirrels are in a lot of places, but I was an adult and drove over to see a friend near Syracuse, and we went to the zoo out there, and that was the first time I had ever seen a black squirrel. And no, it wasn't in the zoo, it was running around in the zoo, but not part of the zoo. But it might as well have been because I was fascinated. Jet black squirrels are beautiful. But here in my neck of the woods, they're generally gray squirrels with tones of red and white. And they're really cute. Not friends of bird feeders. My late husband used to always have an ongoing war with the squirrels here because they would always get into his bird feeders, and he really resented that, which is pretty funny. Anyway, I am going to do this in kind of the same manner that I did the treasure box. I don't have to worry about bleed through because this is actually a piece of 110-pound cardstock that if you remember, because I think I did this part first. Let's see if I can find him. Yep, there he is. I did a tracing of a squirrel from another part of Joanna's book. And then I took this tracing, and you can see I also traced a berry to get an idea. And then I just flipped it over, and as I showed in my other video, I took a card, a hard card, like a old credit card or key card or something, and I just rubbed over my charcoal pencil. And I would have just used, you know, a charcoal pencil, like a drawing type of a charcoal pencil, which would have had a lot of, you know, charcoal, so it would have rubbed pretty easily onto this sheet. And then what I did was I took a black fine line marker, Sharpie marker, because they're waterproof, and just copied over the traced lines. So now if I was concerned about bleed through, like if I wasn't going to put something else back here, and I think I am, I might use some of my satin glazing liquid by Golden, and just brushed an even coat over this, and even maybe gone over that with a card just to give it a nice smooth finish with no brush strokes. But that's a thought too. So what I think I'm going to start with is painting in a little bit of color just to give it a base. That was something loud going up my road, and it's very warm here in New York again, so I have the window open. So anyway, let me find my paint palette and my spray bottle with water in it, and I'll be right back. I couldn't find my normal paint palette, but this plastic dish will work. And I have a spray bottle here that just has plain water in it. You could use a cup and just pour a little water into it. You don't really need a spray bottle. And I think to base coat my squirrel, I'm going to use a little bit of this Anita's acrylic paint in a nubby linen. And I'm just going to put a little bit down in there because it won't take very much. And I'm going to wet my paintbrush and just wipe that water off with a rag. And then I'm just going to take my spray bottle and wet this down so I can make it a wash. You could use watercolors for this. You don't have to use acrylic paint. I imagine it would work just as well. And I do like watercolors, so, you know, wouldn't be any big deal. And if I should paint over lines, I can go back in with a black pen and draw them back in later. So it's not, I don't have to stay within the lines, I guess is what I'm saying. And this is a nice neutral color that will just fill in spaces pretty quick. So I'm just going over the lines. I'm not even going to worry too much about what's squirrel and what's decoration on the squirrel. I'm just putting some color in. And you can see I'm even going into the background. Pretty easy. I'll put some on his tail. Yep, not quite enough. So I'll get a little more. And there you go. As you say, Bob your uncle, and the squirrel has a base coat of color. So I really overdid the paint, but that's okay. Now, in the picture of Squirrel's Treasure Box, I painted the background in, and I used green acrylic paint to do that. I'm just reaching back for a tissue to wipe the top of my paint lid off before I close the cap. Most of my paints are pretty old. These go a long way because these are really small things. Alright, so we have that, and I probably, now that I'm thinking about it, could have base coated even the acorn with a little bit of this tan. Alright. So I just need to let this dry. In this case, I might use my heat gun. And as you can see, even without the satin glazing liquid, the acrylic paint didn't bleed through, and even the black felt alcohol Sharpie pen is only ghosted. It didn't come all the way through. Okay, so that's dry. And it curled a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it because I am going to put a backing on it, and that'll straighten it back down. Okay, so now we have Squirrel base coated. And I took the time to put my pencils in containers, and all I've done is I've taken like my greens and I've put rubber bands around them, so now they're kind of in color families. And these are the pencils, my old Prisma pencils that I was using before. So I'm just going to set these over here next to me. And I don't think I'm going to need that paint anymore, but you never know. I never know until it's over. Now I am going to take a white pencil, and I do want to color. I'll see if I can get a little bit of his little chest fur back to white. I think this one down here. And I think I want to do, may have to take a little bit of a white Posca pen or something and go over the white just to bring it back up, because it's looking a little bit dull, but that's okay. We can do it. All right, and then I would like a little bit this is ochre, so it's kind of a yellowy brown color, and I think I'm going to use it to like tint some of his fur a little brown. Trying to do it with a light hand. Not being terribly successful, but that's okay too. And I will just kind of do here along the top of his nose, and maybe a little bit here near his ears. Might do a little bit here on his tail. And here. There. Okay. Now I just need a gray color. And I think we're going to go with this color erase pencil, and it's just called light gray. And so where I did the brown, I'm now going to go back into the brown. And I'm just going to come around a little bit with gray. Because my squirrel is just going to be a gray squirrel. With that nubby linen color down, it's kind of like coloring it on craft cardstock. Okay, well, I'm just going to get this color in here. As quickly as I can. I'll probably use another color to try to blend all of the browns and the grays together. And oh, I still have his tail to get through. Pardon the sirens. It's summer, and unfortunately I live just south of lakes and things, and it's heavy motorcycle travel and lots of summer camping and stuff, and people going back and forth on this highway, and it's a difficult time for accidents and stuff. Kind of sad. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to get the color down in here. And then I'll be going back and maybe doing some other things to it. May have to sharpen my pencil. And I showed a couple of manual pencil sharpeners in my other videos on this Squirrel's Treasure Box, and I've kind of gone back to using my old Bosch electric pencil sharpener that I bought for $10 a couple decades ago, because I find it's doing a better job on my colored pencils than manual pencil sharpeners. And that's probably me. I'm probably just too rough. Okay, and pardon me while I sharpen my pencil. There we go. Nice new pencil point. So back to the colored pencil and the tail. Now you could do some, you know, coloring techniques here to put fur texture. But to me, he looks like a steampunk squirrel. So I don't know that I'm going to give him fur texture. Oh. All right, let's see. And I apologize for all the fast forwarding in my last video. I hope that you did watch it all the way through, because there were quite a few spots where I did stop and talk about some of the techniques I was using and where I learned them, and kind of particulars about them that I hope you would have found useful. But that video, being like the 4th or 5th in the series, was 4 hours long. So I sped through that a little bit because I figured 4 hours of watching me sit there and pretty much put color on a page might have gotten pretty boring. So anyway, I am getting the color into Squirrel. May have a little bit too much brown in the top part of his body, but that's okay. We can fix that with, I guess, how we do the other parts of his pirate armor. I guess is what I'm thinking of this as, pirate armor. So I think to kind of even that out, I'm going to put a little more red in here. He's kind of a reddish gray squirrel. I'll just put a little more red. I think through here I might just do this ochre color. There we go. And let's see. And I'll just go through with a little bit more of this red. Kind of watching the clock a little bit because I have to go and pick my granddaughter up from work at 2 o'clock, and it's like 1:40 right now. But I just watered some plants and washed a few spider webs off my front porch. And thought I would just sit down and do a little bit of this for a few minutes. And if I can get enough of it done, I will upload it. Today is July 8th. Yesterday would have been my 27th wedding anniversary to my late husband, Ted. And we got married on 7/7 because we figured that was good luck. And it was. We were very lucky to have each other. We were very happy. Blessed. That's what we were. We were blessed. Let's see. I think I'm going to take a little more white. And I'm just going to put a little bit of white here. I always feel like squirrels kind of have a crest on their chests, and they're such fluffy white crests. So I want to do a little bit of that. And then I think I want in here to be pretty white too. And his nose, of course, I'm going to do and we're going to do it in that. Let me see. I'm looking for that's charcoal. What's this? This is, I found a heavy charcoal pencil, and I don't want to use that because that'll make a mess on my page. Let's see. I should have let's see what color this one is. I can flip it over. Yep, it's black. All right, this is a Prismacolor Premier fine line marker, and it's just black. And that's what that looks like. And the point is very fine. Not that that matters right now, because I'm going to just use it right here to put in his nose. I may go over this later with some paint or something to make it kind of shiny. I think I was going to go over his whiskers too. There. Put those in. Maybe a little pupil in his eye too while I have it out. Maybe I'll go around his eye too. Give him a little bit of a eyeliner effect. There. I don't think this Prismacolor liked that very much, going over that colored pencil, but oh well. Let's see. Well, then there's a lot of green in there, so maybe I'll take my Prismacolor number 309, Prismacolor Scholar, and I think I'm going to go through and do some of these blades of grass just to give them a little bit of a base coat. In green, I'm just doing it lightly. Just putting it on there. Like the berry and the cap. A little bit on that leaf. And I think we got a little bit here of something. And here's a leaf. And here's a leaf. Just little circular strokes, nothing fancy. Just getting color on the page. I'm going around the veins right now. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that or not, but for now it feels right. So here we go. And this area here I added in. Squirrel didn't have all that. Oh no, he did have all of this. He didn't have the berries and stuff on this side or the grass. So I added that in for him. To me, these look like halves of walnuts, you know, cracked open walnuts. So I may do them in browns or something. I don't know. That's TBD, to be determined. Okay. And I think I'm going to do the top of this little walnut in a little bit of light green too for now. And then let's see. I think this little viney thing is going to be green. And I think that edge of his tail is going to be, Prismacolor Scholar 350, which is a gold color. Kind of blends in with that ochre color, doesn't it? So we'll have to see what we can do with that. Let's see, what else? Oh, maybe I will use 349, which is a silver. And add a little bit of that over the gold. Yeah, silver stands out much better. So I might add a little more silver here. And here, but I think at the end of his tail, I'll add some white in. There. And let's see. Maybe I'll make this little part of him a little bit of silver. Remember, we put gray in the squirrel's body, so the silver should make sense, kind of. And I think I'll do this little stripe in silver. This little thing right here is going to be silver too. Okay, well, sorry about that. My camera quit again. I must have hit the 27-minute mark. So all I did from here is I went ahead and I just added another kind of light layer on top of the brown that I had just put on, just to kind of blend it a little bit. And so with that, I think I will move into maybe doing a few more of the vines. Now I did this in green, so I'm probably going to also do these vines in a little bit of that same color green. Coloring doesn't have to be complicated, I don't think. It's kind of a very soothing and relaxing hobby. And it should be relaxing. It shouldn't be anything that you stress over. I like to say, just do what makes you feel good. Do what you like. Do what you enjoy. If there's one thing that really nobody knows but you, it's, what makes you happy. We can talk about our emotions, but we're truly the only ones who can feel our emotions. We each feel our emotions probably in our own personal way. I know that coloring makes me feel relaxed. Not necessarily times like this where I feel I have to talk. Because talking does not relax me. But, I don't know. I think even this one right here, I'm going to do in this green. Because it can be simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. And I think I want him to be mostly green. I think I'm going to change that up a little bit and like end that there. There. Okay, and then maybe around these I'll do green. Let's see. Yeah, it should be green too, in my mind. And remember, it could be anything that you want it to be in yours. Could be purple, because who knows what it is, right? I think that I would like a darker, maybe a darker brown. Let's see what I have here. Oh, here I have this one. That's brown. Here's one of my favorite colors, Tuscan Red. I just love that color. And I think I maybe I'll do these things around his little helmet in this color, because I really do like this color. And I know I want to do some of the knot in this color, but it's actually one of the darker colors. I really do like to put my lighter colors on first, because I find it easier to go light to dark rather than dark to light. So first, I'm going to come in with, well, that's burnt ochre too. I think this is the same pencil. Yeah, burnt ochre and burnt ochre. I must like that color too. Although the barrels are remarkably different, because this is a Premier and this is a Prismacolor. This is an older one. This is a newer one. Interesting. Let's see what color's that. 345. Doesn't have a name on it. Nope, that's 9. The ochre is 943. So I'm going to go in with this. We're just going to do the bottom of this knot in this color. Okay. Well, maybe we'll put it in the top too, just a little bit, just as base color. And then I'll go back in with my dark brown. And I will put some of this in. I'm not being incredibly careful as to where I'm coloring. And then I'm going to go in with my Tuscan red and do some more spaces with this. Go line a bit across the bottom, and then I'll go back in with my 345. I'm just going to go over the whole thing. Just like that. So it's not too bad. And then I think I might take this Tuscan red again, because I really do like this color. I was going to outline some stuff. Like I said, coloring doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple. And we've done it since we were children, so we know how to do it. And I may take some of this red and I may put that in some of these, because I really like this color. And let's see. And then I'm going to take 322, and it's some color orange that doesn't have a name. I think I'm going to put that right here. Simply because now I feel like adding a little more color to the squirrel. And likewise back here on this little fan shape on his tail. But Wally just came into the room and Kitten's laying behind me, and they don't like each other. So I may have World War 2.5. Let's see, where else would I like to put this? Maybe I'll put a little bit of it up here. Okay. Let's see, then I just have to do my berries. So I think I'm going to pull out a few colors of purple, and then one color of blue. So there's a couple of purples, lavender and a dark purple. And then this is a Prismacolor Scholar 306. Kind of a, I don't know, kingfisher blue maybe? So first, so now I'm going to work on these berries. Stop. So I'm just going to go through and put some lavender on all of these. Actually, I was just out picking black caps the other day. It's a small version of a black raspberry, and I have them grow wild all over my property. And most years I'll make jams out of them. Not sure I'm going to do that this year, but you never know. So now I'm just kind of randomly jumping around, adding the dark purple. And then I think I'm going to see what this blue looks like in here. I think I'm going to use that a little sparingly and just kind of blue up some of the little berries. Adds a little shadow too. Okay, pick up a little more of that lavender again. Fruits are like little gems. Sweet or tart, refreshing. Okay. And I'll come down here and get this one. Okay, and then a little blue. Okay. And then, let's see. Gotta do some more with these green leaves. Add a little bit of shading in here. Right now I'm just putting in some color. You can see where the tan paint was in some of these leaves, which is good because it's darkened it up, and that's fine. Okay. Let's see, I think I'll make this one a little bit darker down at the base. Maybe there. Maybe I'll kind of go off the wall, and I'll pick number 313, this like citron green. And I'll throw that onto this green where I want it to be lighter. There's that. I'll put a little more in here, because it just kind of lightens it up a little bit, brightens it up. This brown and gray was getting a little heavy. There's that. I'm just going to come down here, and the places that I left kind of open with the darker green, I'm just going to fill in now with this lighter green. There. And I think I will put a little bit of brown into that raspberry stem, and especially into this acorn there. And then let's see. Inside his little ear, I'll go in with a little of this, and then maybe a little of this. And then we'll just go over it like that. Okay. I'll make some of these centers this color. Pretend there's something that just hasn't ripened into a darker browny red yet. Okay, then I have to do the centers of the leaves. And you know what? Maybe I'll do them in purple. Might go over them with a little bit of green, just to set them in. And yeah, maybe I'll go over them with this. No, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just use the regular green. Remember, if you start to do something and you think it's not right, then stop and do something else. No police will knock on your door. No coloring police, that is. There's that. Put a little bit of this in, simply because I can. Okay, now I'm going to come over here to the nuts. Getting kind of crowded in here with pencils, aren't I? And first I'm going to take this ochre color, and I'm going to put some of that on the inside where the walnut would be. And then I think I'm going to just do the outside. Start it off in this dark brown. And I'm going down the branch a little bit, kind of making it look woody. And I think I'll go over that dark brown with some of the ochre. There. And I've got more green down here that needs this brighter color. At least to me it does. And I think I'm going to pick up the darker green first and hit the bottom of these leaves with a little bit of that dark green. And then I will do the tops with the citron. And there. Then I'm going to use my Posca pens, and I'm going to pull out this white one. And I think these are the fine point ones. And shake that. You can hear the ball down inside. Everything on here, though, is written in Japanese. So and these are 0.7 nibs. So that's what that, that's what that nib looks like. I don't think I've started this one. So to start this, you just push down on the nib like that till the paint runs out. I guess I did start it. Clean that up. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with my Posca I'm going to very carefully, or try to be very careful. That doesn't seem right, does it? Oops, making a mess. Hang on. Okay. Now you could do this with paintbrush and paint. You don't have to use a Posca. And it's very wet paint, so you can potentially make a mess of your color book or your, in this case, cardstock by pilling it because it's wet. So you want to kind of just get it on here. Okay. Then I'll go back around his little eye. And my white paint pen. Yeah, and I'm going to add a little bit of this to his tail. I want to let some of the gray show here, though. Okay. Okay, we'll just keep adding a little bit more. Probably should dry it. And then add some more, because that'll give me a layer for the paint to catch on. Hopefully that's good. Yeah. I'll just add a little more white. See what a difference that makes just drying it? Yep, cat's growling at the dog. Add a little more here. A little more in here. There. Okay. Put a little bit of a highlight in the squirrel's eye. And I'm going to dry it again just quick. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Prisma Color Premier black fine point pen. Shake that a little bit just to cool it off. And then I'm going to just go around. I don't know if I'm going to have to get my Sharpie. I might. Yes. I may have to go for a broader nib. To actually get this to outline well. But you get the idea, you know, that you can go back and outline and sharpen all your edges up again. Okay. I just have to come up here and redo this. Okay. Maybe do a little right here. I definitely think a wider nib would be better, but right now I won't take the time to find that right now. So there's a little bit here that I didn't color in, and I was going to make it all white for his chest, but I think now I'm just going to go back in and fill it with some green. And in there I will just put a little bit of this really bright green. There. Now we'd have a brown eye. I think I will do that in terracotta. This is a Prismacolor Premier Terracotta. So there's that. Okay. So in my next video, I'll come back and I will embellish him a little bit, do the background, and get him attached into the coloring book. So I hope that you enjoyed watching Squirrel and his initial coloring, and please give it a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe, and I will be back with more videos. Thanks for watching. Take care. Be colorful.